Hi, it's Truda Carney, and I am here with Diane Weiland. And Diane Weiland is the director of Cape May County's tourism and public information. So you've been doing this for 40 years, Diane. It's been a long time. I know you know everything about pretty much everything that's going on down here, correct?
Probably not, but I like to think I do.
You
We're
do. You're
on the
you're
pulse.
yeah, you're pretty informative. So a lot of things have been happening down the shore. Everyone wants questions answered about what's going to happen with the rental industry, how we're going to approach this season coming in. And I just want to also preface this with, prayers go out to people who are really suffering and who are going through very difficult times. I think that, we're all trying to work together where we're showing empathy towards people who are going through a lot of this in a not a good way. And also there's a lot of people who are also trying to salvage things to protect us in a different way with the economy. So I love well, let's start off with the sectors. I always love when the stats. Tell us the stats of what was you said you were working on the numbers from 2019, but the numbers from 2018 as far as all the sectors and the amount of money that is generated for the just all, down at the shore.
What I look at is the Cape May County stats that are provided by the New Jersey Division of Travel and Tourism. They work with Tourism Economics, who is well known for their ability to get the information. They work around the world to do this, the stats for countries as well as states. We found in 2018 our total tourism expenditures was $1.6 billion. 2019, as you know, understand, is not in yet, but we're waiting to hear that. And I think Cape May County will be very close to that $7 billion mark. In 1994, when they first started doing the stats, Cape May County was $2 billion. And people were shocked, is that, with a B? Yeah, that's with a B. And see how
Wow.
much we've grown. When we look at our standing, we're second in the state next to Atlantic County, with Atlantic City being, the big player in the tourism game for the entire state. And we look at how they divide the sectors. Real estate income, rental income in Cape May County almost doubles the next closest county, which is Ocean County, at a little over $2 billion annually is collected through rentals. Just an amazing, I think more than 50% of all the rentals in the state of New Jersey are located in Cape May County, and 47% of our dwellings are considered second or vacation homes. So the second homeowner has a major impact, and the realtors as well in the entire tourism industry picture. We also rank 1.5 billion in food and beverage, and we rank number one in the state in that category, which people don't even understand how that happens. But when you think about all the other counties, especially Atlantic County, and we just kind of edge them out a little bit with generating more dollars in that sector, as well as retail. We're $1.2 billion in retail, and that's number one in the state. Recreation is another category that Cape May County outpaces all of the other counties at $720 million. So, the outdoors is important for us. The beach is certainly the big attractor. Overnight stays are so important, whether they're, our hotels, motels, B&Bs, and campgrounds are a big part of our economic engine as well, but also the rentals, and it all comes together, this big picture that generates a lot of money for the businesses in Cape May County.
Mm-hmm. So we were talking earlier about where we were in the Cape May County area years ago when buyers or homeowners were finding out that they could sell their house and get 2, 3, 4, 500,000 plus for their homes that they thought they could only get maybe $90,000 for. So at that time, and I'm not sure what year this is, but I'm sure you remember which year, I was in the restaurant industry, So, but at that time, a lot of people, because I remember being in the restaurant industry because we had to close down during the wintertime. We were slowing down because a lot of the locals who had owned those homes moved out of town, because they sold their homes, and now the secondary homeowners, um, they were maybe in a warmer climate during the winter times. It's really during the wintertime I'm talking about, off season. Let's call it off season. Um, so now it's interesting how this is kind of making a little bit of a turnaround because the homeowners, I'm wondering, what's your take on, will the homeowners now that they are waiting on rentals and we're not sure when we're going to get the green light on that, but will the homeowners now be more likely to come down and use their house using, practicing safe distancing and just to be perhaps near the water, if they're on the bay or near the ocean?
I think we were already seeing that, and almost, I would say the couple weeks prior to Easter, and especially during Easter, we saw that a lot more of our second homes were being occupied by the owners who were getting away from, their residents and coming down here, to do the self quarantine, and just to get the families out of the cities or the high hotspot areas. Also, once the schools were declared closed in Pennsylvania, we saw a lot more of the houses being occupied by the owners that may normally have been rented, especially during that Easter week.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how this has brought this unfortunate incident has really brought a lot of us together. People who are just working in the town to make the town prosper. And we were saying earlier how it's like we go on stage. We work hard through the off season, and now the off season is not even an off season anymore because we've been having such a long season. Um, it really extends. I mean, I think even only is it down to January, maybe, that it's the off season, where I think a couple of the restaurants like Congress Hall or Uncle Bill's or different places will take turns in closing for a couple of weeks, but then they open back up again. But generally, we're all working to kind of go on stage for our audience when they come down from Pennsylvania, from New York, from Maryland, Virginia, everywhere. So now it's a little bit different. We have people who are, they're going to, like you said, come down to their second family, their second home, and they're going to obviously need food. And we notice a lot of the restaurants are putting out signs now that they're setting up to have takeout orders, to call in advance. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think that's just a smart way for the businesses to, open up and try to generate some income. Easter is pretty much a kickoff of the season for us. Not as big as Memorial Day, but you start to see more and more activity from Easter through the weekends. Mother's Day weekend is another big activity, and they serve as benchmarks to measure one year against the other and kind of give us a little foresight into what's going to happen in the preceding season. So they're always good benchmarks and opportunities for us to measure the season, good metrics for us to use. Our businesses can get some startup money that they need to, start to hire and the inventory and things like that. And so without the businesses being open, especially the restaurants now that can offer the takeout opportunity, it's just smart for them to do that. And through our marketing efforts that have been adjusted greatly through the Department of Tourism, we are, running a campaign to support the businesses that are doing takeout, and we offer, just tell us what you're doing and a link to your business so people can see your menu. But it's a great way to reach out to the second homeowner who maybe doesn't know what's open and what's available. We know they're here. We know they're willing to, they need to eat and they're willing to go out and pick up their meals. So we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be marketed, that they're open for takeout or curbside service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to your point, I think the owners have been so great with following the, the restrictions and the orders, and maintaining their safety with their gloves and their mask. And I was saying earlier, I'm one of the ones with the low immune system where I have to be very, very careful. I have severe asthma. I'm a severe asthmatic. I have hypothyroidism, and so on and on. So one of the things that I realized with a place like Green Street Market is, if anyone's watching and they need help in this area, you can call in your order, and they practice very safe distancing. You call in the order and they will have it there waiting for you. They have a shield, a glass shield, to protect both sides outside of their store. And they have a table. They'll put the box of groceries on the table. And when you take the box, you leave your credit card. When you take the box of groceries to your car, they'll take your credit card, they ring it up. And then when you walk back to the table, it'll be sitting there with a rock on top so the wind doesn't blow it away. But, it's just for somebody like me, and I know there's a lot of people out there watching that really do need to know the secrets down here of how they can be, protect themselves and be careful and still get the food that they need. And, when they do come down here, and we don't even know what to expect. What do you expect going into, like, just say, for example, June? I know that it's all uncertain, but any word behind the scenes of anything that you can share?
We are still, abiding by the CDC guidelines. No one wants to see our businesses open any more than the Board of Chosen Freeholders. They are working with the governor. We are all just sitting back waiting to see, what every day something new. Every day we're learning something new. And, we understand the anxiety that a lot of the businesses have, and also the local residents who are not working. And so, we once the information is made available, we will get that information out to all of our residents. We have, many ways to get that information out, and there's nothing going to be held back. The Freeholder Board, through Freeholder Director Thornton, put together a recovery task force who are working with the community to, set up a plan. Once they get the green light, that plan will go into effect, and everyone will be notified what's going to happen. Right now, it's just a matter of, we're so glad that so many of the businesses are patient, understand, this is something that, is unavoidable. We have to follow what the governor's guidelines are in order to open the businesses, and just, we just have to follow so we can get past this and open up, hopefully, a little quicker than, 4th of July. We don't, we're looking at Memorial Day, and, don't want that to slip through our fingers, but we all know that, safety and the protection and of our residents and visitors is of prime importance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you nailed it when you said the patience. We all really need patience during this time, because we have, a lot of us, they always kind of talk about, like, when you go through a pandemic or any tough, difficult situation like this, the radar can go from fear driven all the way to, how can you grow through this? How can you be stronger? How can you work a little bit harder and come up with newer ideas? We have the illness that is weighing over all of us. The possibly getting the COVID. But all we can do really is just, I think, like, while we're going through this, you're working endless hours with your group to try to have the towns work together and maintain order of what we can do in this moment. What can we do to just take one step at a time as we get orders, as the instructions come. There's going to be stages of opening up a little at a time, correct?
Yes, that's what we understand it's going to be, and we will. We're working to be prepared. We, from the tourism side, or I've redesigned and changed our advertising campaign to adjust to what's happening on the public information side. Any information that we have available at Cape May County, will make sure that that information goes out immediately. We're here to answer questions, and there's so much good advice that's coming in from the residents, from the business community, that they all, they want to help, they want to be
Mhm.
part of it, they want to be part of the recovery. And it's just going to be a matter of, once we're given the okay. I think that with the task force recovery group, with all the other groups that are out there, the chambers of commerce and all the tourism organizations, that once we're given that information, that there'll be a very quick response and turnaround. And certainly, if it's not in May, then June, to start the season. And we're also looking to bolster our fall and winter campaign. Like you were said,
Yes.
you see more and more people in the winter. We've been promoting a warm and cozy Jersey Cape for 3 years now, and seeing more and more coming back. So
Yes.
it's not just our second homeowners, because we're seeing growth in occupancy tax. So they're staying at the hotels, motels, and B&B. So, if you never make up, we're never going to make up. They don't get a do-over for Memorial
Mhm.
Day, get a do-over for Easter. But if we can help salvage what's left, and extend the season into the fall and winter, that's, what we need to do for our business community.
Mhm. And it's so confusing because when everyone thinks of the shore, we think of so many exciting things. Like it's almost like a freedom. You feel like you're 5 years old and the pool's open for the summer, and everyone wants to run down the shore and put their toes in the sand and go swimming, and it's all about happy times. So I think that's the part that we really have to hold on to. Like you said, be patient, protect yourself, protect others. Um, don't find yourself in a disagreement with locals versus second homeowners versus day trippers. I think we all need to just be patient, be positive together, and just follow the rules as they're given to us, and just be ready for when we are allowed to just start to engage a little bit here and there. Correct?
Exactly. We're all waiting for the same thing.
Yeah.
We enjoy the summer. Wherever, if you're a visitor, if you're a second homeowner, if you're a resident, the warm weather, sunny skies, we're all looking forward to it. And like you say, that little bit of freedom. Our message right now is, very peaceful, calming. Brighter days are ahead, and we want to keep people reminded of the great memories they have and memories they can make with their families. It's going to happen. It's, just something that we all have to wait. And once we're given the word, I'm telling you, we're jumping right into it and getting,
Right, right. With
and
our with our
so,
mask and our gloves, we're jumping right in,
hey, that's what it
right?
takes.
Yes.
We're
Right, why
ready.
not?
We understand it. Yeah.
Right. So, well, I'm so glad that we got to talk, Diane, because this is really important. A lot of people, are watching. They want to have answers, and they want to feel safe, and they just want to know there's hope. My mom used to come down the shore, and I had a big porch swing on the top of Carney's, and my mom would sit up there, and it was the size of a twin size bed, and she would sit on the twin size bed and just watch the ocean, and she would say, Truda, there's only one thing everyone needs. I'm like, what, Mom? I have my master's. Like, one more kid, I already have 5. Like, what else do I need to do? And she's like, you just need hope. Like, everyone just needs hope, that this is going to be okay. And and I don't want to be not sensitive to everyone who's really struggling. And we've all heard the stories on the internet. And I think that's one of the reasons why I just started up this show again, because, I just I think if we all just keep our energy high, we say a prayer for somebody who needs it every day. Every day, keep your energy high, say a prayer for somebody who needs it, learn something new. So you don't feel like you're living in the past. Just learn something new, something that where we can grow and, be stronger, and then just stay positive, right? That's what we can do.
That's all. Reach out, help where you can. And,
Yeah.
we're all in this together. You hear it a lot, but that's the truth.
Yes, absolutely, Diane. Well, I'm going to reach out to you again because, we'll do an update from week to week just to check in to see where we are. You have your finger on the pulse, so I know where to find you.
Okay.
And yeah, but we will meet up again. And thanks so much again for joining me. Okay.
All right. Thank you for asking.
All right. Bye, Diane.
Bye. Stay
Bye.
safe.
Okay, you too.